Hello and welcome to the Mesa Public Schools College Fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. Each will have 6 minutes to share more about their institution, but will be around for the entire session to answer any questions you may have. My name is Jenny, and I will be your facilitator. Before we get started, I have a few housekeeping items. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. However, you can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the schedule on the website. This presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/Greater Arizona. I'd now like to turn it over to our first presenter, Macalester College.
Hello everyone, my name is Jace Riggin. I use he, they pronouns and I'm an assistant director of admission at Macalester College in St. Paul, Minnesota. I just actually flew in from Phoenix, Tucson area back to Minneapolis, St. Paul. So I'm joining you from my home on the St. Paul side of the metropolitan area. Macalester College is a 2,200 small, national, top 30 highly selective liberal arts and sciences college. We are located in Minnesota. I like to brag that we were actually warmer than the Tucson, Phoenix area for 2 days in the last 7 days. It was 75 here while it was in the mid 60s for you all while you were all having your cold snap. We are a large metro. We have people from across the world, the largest Somali as well as Hmong population in the metropolitan area. We share Lizzo with Houston. We are a music and food city. In fact, we have many James Beard recipient restaurants, and the best new restaurant in America is a Minneapolis restaurant. Thinking about our location, you have 7 bus stops, almost 2 on every corner, 2 fully functioning light rails that bring you to both downtowns as well as the international airport. Every major sports team has a venue in the metropolitan area, and there are also 2 Broadway playhouses and many other theaters in the metropolitan area. Macalester is known for being grounded in our core values of multiculturalism, international cooperation, service to society, and academic excellence. These core values have grounded Macalester for over 100 years, and they are the reason why Macalester admitted students directly from American, Japanese internment camps on our western coast during World War II. Additionally, they are the values that inform our campus community and are why our president's office today pays for the bail and legal fees of any of our students who are arrested or detained while practicing civil disobedience. Things are a little bit different here. There are all 50 states represented within our student population, 95 countries represented, and our students lean into challenging conversations across difference. By design, your classmates will not share the same backgrounds, identities, or lived experiences as you. Our students engage deeply, they are curious, they are quirky, they are highly collaborative, and they value a small school, big city atmosphere. These opportunities are amplified in the metropolitan area on our campus in the shape of having over 200 plus internships within just 8 miles of our campus. Additionally, a very high number, 76% of our students complete at least one internship during their time at Macalester. This is a liberal arts institution. However, we do have 40% of our students who are STEM-based majors, and 80% of them conduct independent or collaborative research during their time on our campus. Lastly, I would like to highlight that we have a lot of study away programs. If you are interested in studying away, Macalester is a wonderful place to do that because our financial aid policies apply to any of the 95 programs across 51 different nations that we have run through our study away office. On our campus, you have 39 majors, 40 minors to choose from, and this is a highly individualized approach to learning. 10-to-1 student to faculty ratio. The average class size is between 15 to 17 students. Many of our classes are taught by tenured faculty, which means that they have reached the highest level in their career at our institution. Additionally, this is an all undergraduate institution, meaning you are not competing for research opportunities with graduate students, and our courses are not taught by graduate students. I'd like to add that we're a fun place to live and learn as well. There are many student organizations. We're a D3 athletics institution, as well as we have a variety of music ensembles. And the newest academic space on our campus is the Performing and Visual Arts Center. The last piece I'd like to share is that we have no Greek life on our campus. Instead, our students have access to a variety of social, political, and special interest living communities, as well as civic engagement opportunities and volunteering opportunities across the metro. This is a highly selective, high outcomes institution. 90+% of our students are placed within the first 6 months of graduating from Macalester, and 90% or higher each year of our students graduate within 4 years or less. One of our most prominent recent graduates is Danaya Guerrera. She is a Black Panther as well as Tony-nominated play author. She talks about seeking out communities that are daring and globally concerned, like Macalester, post her time on our campus. Additionally, I will add that Macalester has produced many other notable graduates, namely Walter Mondale, a public servant who was a senator, as well as a presidential nominee who ran against Ronald Reagan, as well as a UN Secretary General. Kofi Annan are all Macalester graduates. Early decision, please think about early decision or early action with Macalester. These are the best opportunities to apply for admission because they allow for you to seek higher admission rates than the regular decision round. Early action is our non-binding application round. This allows for students to decline their offer of admission should they decide to attend elsewhere that is a better fit. We meet 100% of your family's demonstrated financial need. This means that there is not a gap between what your family needs to ensure that Macalester is affordable and accessible and what we provide to ensure that it is. If you need to know what your cost at Macalester will be, we have a 6-question, 3-minute quick cost calculator that you can access on our website. And again, this is unique. This is because we are one of only about 70 institutions in the country that meet 100% of demonstrated financial need. Thank you so much for spending time on a recording or time with us this evening. We appreciate you. Come for a visit to Minnesota. We'd love to welcome you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Up next, we have Suffolk University.
Okay, 1 second. Let me just make sure. Hello, everybody. How's it going? My name is Raquel Dos Santos, and I'm an admissions counselor at Suffolk University. I specifically recruit in many areas, but Arizona being one of them. Welcome. So before we get started, I'd like to talk about where we're located. Suffolk University is located right in the heart of downtown Boston. And so all these building numbers are where Suffolk has buildings now. It may seem a bit overwhelming, given that we are in the city, but it's no more than a 10-minute walk from one end of the campus to the next. Suffolk is untraditional in the sense that we don't have an outlined campus, but we've got all the components of a traditional campus, and we're designed this way on purpose. Being in downtown Boston adds a lot of value to a student's college experience here at Suffolk University. For starters, we're a medium-sized campus. We have just over 4,200 students, 70 different areas of study, and a 13-to-1 student-faculty ratio. Now, you'll notice it says Boston and Madrid. Suffolk actually has a campus in Madrid, Spain. Students can go there, study for up to 2 years, and it not delay their graduation track. Now, some programs can stay longer than others, but there is opportunities for students to get out, see Madrid, Spain at Suffolk's campus. Same concept, downtown Madrid. Now, if Spain isn't for you, no worries. We offer 50 plus other areas students can study, locations that they can travel to. Now, like I said, we are located in the city, and the question we commonly get is, what sort of experience will you have going to Suffolk University? And, we have all the components of a traditional campus. So we've got over 100 plus clubs and organizations, which are based on your interests, potential careers, that kind of a thing. We do have Greek life, religious life, Center for Community Engagement, student government, which is like student council, performing arts. And yes, we have 19 Division III sports teams. So yes, you can live in the city and play sports. Now, our Career Center is something that we're very, very proud of. We really focus on one-on-one attention with students, figure out what it is their career goals are and how Suffolk can support them in getting there. Some of the things that we offer are internship resources, job fairs, networking events, career counseling, resume and cover letter assistance, job search, and alumni mentoring. My favorite part about the center is the mock interview. So students are allowed to come in, say, hey, look, I'm sitting for an interview with, let's say, Amazon's finance department. They'll bring you in, go over questions that are typically asked in this sort of a setting, and work with the student to ensure that they're prepared. So when they do get that opportunity, they can nail it and get the job. We've seen this very successful. 98% of our students within 1 year of graduation are, continuing their education or are working. So that's very important. College is an investment, and to see a return on your investment so quickly is unbeatable. We have 7 different areas of study. So Suffolk has a wide variety of options. We do offer accelerated programs so students can get their undergraduate degrees within 3 years as opposed to the traditional 4. We also offer classes in the evening, so very flexible to students in the lives they lead outside of going to school. We also offer 10 accelerated master's programs as well as a 3+3 program, which allows students to get their bachelor's degree and their JD degree at Suffolk's Law School, which there is direct pathway options should the student meet certain qualifications. And I will note that Suffolk also has an undergraduate degree in law, which is not common at a lot of institutions. So that's something we're very, very proud of. And so we have a holistic approach to applications. So we believe students are more than just the number. So we look at what classes are you taking, what are your involvements, what do your involvements look like, what do your grades look like, are you working, are you involved, extenuating family circumstances, all that gets factored into an admissions decision. With that being said, we are test optional. So if you feel like the score on the SAT, ACT actively reflects how you perform in the classroom, by all means submit it. If you don't submit it. Choosing not to submit it still qualifies the student for merit-based aid and need-based aid. Our average GPA is about a 3.3, a 23 on the ACT, and about 1150 on the SAT. And so Suffolk University offers, a lot of financial aid. Like I said, it's based on need and your merits. And so about 94% of our students are on have some sort of scholarship going to Suffolk. And so with that, I'd like to thank you guys. I will put my contact information in the chat. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Our application deadline for early action is November 15th, so it doesn't lock you into a decision. You will have an admissions decision before the end of the year, and our regular decision is February 15th. And so, yes, thank you so much for your time. I look forward to hearing from you guys.
Thank you so much. Up next, we have Cabot University.
All right, there we go. Let me start my timer. Cool. So welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining. So my name is Ramsey. I'm the admissions counselor for Cabot University. I also graduated from here a little over 5 years ago. Cabot University is an American university in Rome. So we're taking a little trip across, a little further away than Boston. So like I said, we're an American university. So what that means is when you graduate, you get an American degree. So it's just like earning any degree, in the US, same accreditation, but you don't have to live in the US. You can live in Rome for the 4 years, just like I did. We're a pretty small school in terms of numbers, but we just accepted our biggest class in the fall, so that's really nice. We are growing, but We have just over 1,500 students. We have students from over 75 different countries, and you can see the breakdown right here. There is still a good amount of students from North America, a lot of Italians, of course, and then the rest are just from people around the world. And that's the best part of going to a school like this, is meeting people from all around the world. But small school in a big city, so you get the big city resources, but our class sizes, our average class size is 15 to 1. So you actually get to know your professor, they actually know your name. And yeah, I'll touch on a little bit about our career opportunities. We have a lot of internships that we do, a lot of companies in Rome, and then of course our admissions and financial aid. But like I said, the professors actually know your name. That made a huge difference for me when I was there. You're not going to be in these huge 300-person lectures, which I just didn't, I was happy about. We have 14 degrees and 20 minors, so you can double major. We're more of a liberal arts institution, so less of the STEM programs, but I studied communications and minored in humanistic studies, but you can double major, you can get 2 minors, you can definitely work a little bit around that. Yeah, so 14 different majors to choose from, and small class sizes. And yes, even while being abroad, you can study abroad. So we have partnerships with a lot of different universities around the world, including in the US. They send a lot of study abroad students to us, and you can also study abroad there. So you can completely switch it if you want to study at John Cabot and get your degree at John Cabot, but study abroad in the US, you could do that. And with these partnerships, you can study abroad at any of these schools that we have partnerships with for a semester, even up to a full year. And you don't have to pay any difference in tuition. So that's really nice. Like I said, something big that we do is our career services. We have a whole team dedicated to, helping you find internships while you're still in school, and then, a career afterwards, hopefully a job after you graduate. And we have over 900 different opportunities in and outside of Rome. We have partnerships with so many different organizations. We've been there, it said on the first slide, it is our 50th year anniversary. So we've been around in Rome for quite a while, and have a lot of resources to prove it. Our School of Business was just accredited by the AACSB, which is obviously really nice. It's basically saying, we've got a really nice business program, of course. So yes, definitely look that up if you're a business person and you're looking to go abroad. I think John Cabot would be an excellent choice. But yeah, so lots of different career opportunities when you're in Rome. That's another benefit of going to school. Huge city, but small school. So this is a little map. It makes things seem a little bit further, but they're actually very close to each other, within 3 to 5 minutes walking of each other. But I'll touch on all of our different buildings. We have the arts building, we have our Guarini campus, our Tiber campus. So your classes will be split up throughout these 3 or 4, depending on what you're taking. And yeah, we have a lot of resources on the campus. So on these campuses, as you can see, these are our Guarini, Art Studio, Cortelli campus, and Tiber. They seem a little foreign now, but they become home after a little while when you're there. So yeah, on to clubs and we have quite a few clubs. If you are interested, you can definitely pause the video if you're watching the recording, or scan this QR code. We have tons of things to kind of get involved, because a lot of our students are coming from so far away, and we have to become, John Cabot has to become the new home for them. So we have been doing this for a while, and we have our ways, but definitely joining clubs really helps you stay grounded when you're far from home. I wish I could touch on all of these, but there's a lot of them. So our housing, I get that question quite a lot. We do have our own housing in Italy. They're all apartment style, really nice apartments, furnished apartments. And yeah, you're roomed with obviously other people from the university, and probably people from outside the US, which is a really good experience. We do have our own varsity teams. There's soccer, basketball, volleyball, and cheerleading, a nice mix between Italian and American culture. There are quite a few different things that our athletics team sets up, like a few different outings, like hiking and sailing and surfing. So if there are a little bit more obscure sports that you want to try, you can definitely get into that. So our admissions and financial aid, I know I'm running out of time, but it's just like applying to any other university in the US. We are in the Common App, and we do take the FAFSA. So if you plan on using that, we accept it. Over 85% of our students get a scholarship from us. So we have our own merit-based and need-based scholarships. And our tuition is just under $27,000 for the year. But yeah, just like applying to any other institution in the US. But that is my time, is my thing goes off. But yeah, if you guys wanted to scan that virtual tour, it's right there, and then our email's on the screen as well. But thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Up next, we have Soka University of America.
All right. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. I think
Yes.
we're good to go. So let me just do the present screen. Ooh. All right. Okay. So I'll start the timer here. My name is Scott Bauer. I'm one of the admission counselors at Soka University of America. I'm very happy to be on this call with you all and to share a little bit more about our institution. First and foremost, Soka, is that an acronym? Well, it's actually a Japanese neologism, and it stands for value creation. So we are quite literally the value creating university. And we are located in Aliso Viejo, California. We are a small private liberal arts university, nonprofit, and we are founded on Buddhist principles of peace, humanitarianism, and the sanctity of life. We are also non-sectarian, so anyone, regardless of your religious credence, is more than welcome to attend our university. And one thing that I like to emphasize is that we are a mission-driven university. So the mission of Soka University is to foster a steady stream of global citizens who are committed to living a contributive life. And this is something that I believe really sets us apart, because it gets students thinking about this idea of global citizenship. Are you a global citizen? What does it mean to be a global citizen? And rather than set you up on a path specifically, in a major, in fact, this idea of a contributive life is meant to spark new thoughts about what is the purpose behind my studies and how does that connect to the bigger picture. Okay, so a few key facts. I've already covered that we're in Aliso Viejo, California. So that's in Southern California, and it's close to Irvine. It's actually right next to Laguna Beach area. And one thing that always gets a lot of eyebrow raises is how small of a university we are. We only have 450 students in total. And out of that student population, 45% of us at the university are coming from outside of the United States. So that actually puts us at number one in terms of international diversity, but also we're very high in ethnic and racial diversity. We're a residential campus, so all students for all 4 years will be staying on campus, double occupancy, and you'd share a private bathroom. Pretty good deal. We only offer one major, and I'll get into a little bit more what that entails, but it would be a major of liberal arts. We're a liberal arts college, and there are 5 concentrations that help you to understand kind of where your studies really would be going towards, but they're different than majors. So I'll get into that in a slide in a bit. We do have a study abroad requirement. It's mandatory. It's for 1 full semester, and it's also predicated on your language acquisition of one of our 4 target languages. There's a capstone research project or a senior thesis. Again, we're very small, 7-to-1 student to faculty ratio with an average class size of 12. I'll talk about athletics in a bit, as well as the financial aid options. So liberal arts is a really great foundation, I would say, for you to expose yourself to many different areas of knowledge. It's really to get you out of your comfort zone, to get you to think in different ways, and also to meet people from all over the world that come from different walks of life. There are general education components. For the most part, you will be reading and writing a lot, of course, how to express yourself, become an effective communicator. But then there's also interesting courses in how you approach philosophy, science, history, language. And we do have an emphasis on a comparative study between Eastern and Western thought. Study abroad, the 4 languages that we offer, when you arrive as a first-year student, you would choose either Spanish, Japanese, French, and Chinese. You would take 4 semesters worth of that language, and then in your 3rd semester, either the fall or the spring, we're talking about a full semester, 3 to 5 months. And we have 15 cities worldwide that you can choose from. And you would go to a country where that language is spoken, respectively. And you would be pretty much set up. All the logistics are taken care of through our office, as well as the partner organizations. And this study abroad is included within the cost of tuition, and you'll be still set to graduate within the 4 years. So a little bit more about the concentrations. So we offer 5: environmental studies, humanities, international studies, life sciences, and social and behavioral sciences. The life sciences is very exciting. That was launched in 2020, along with new facilities and laboratory spaces. That one's actually a pre-med pathway, but these concentrations are like broader categories. So rather than a set pathway that a major would offer, these concentrations are meant to kind of broaden the possibilities to kind of get you to take from many different majors within that concentration. There's an interdisciplinary aspect to this as well, in which, after you've declared your concentration, at some point you do have to take a few courses outside of your concentration. We have a vibrant student life, many different clubs, over 30 different affinity groups as well, opportunities within student government, research assistant, there's work study as well. Student support is really important. We are on like a hillside, on top of a hill. So there's shuttles that can take you off campus within a 5-mile radius, as well as counseling services, writing centers. This is a short little diagram of our dorms, but we do offer suites, different pictures to see here. I'm starting to run out of time. I'm almost done. I wanted to talk a little bit about the sports. We have men's and women's soccer, cross country, track and field, swimming and diving, and we only have women's golf. And that all of this part of the NAIA. In terms of financial aid, we're very generous. All students receive some form of financial aid, need-based grants, merit scholarships, athletic scholarships. We're talking about for tuition, $33,000, with room and board, $13,000. And so finally, I'll say that we would love to have you visit our campus. We have student-led campus tours that are free, online info sessions as well. This November 12th, there's an on-campus open house, and we'd love to see you. We'd love for you to follow us on Instagram as well at Soka Admissions. So thank you so much, and I'll end my presentation here.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you so much for letting us know more about your lovely institutions. We will now transition to our Q&A portion of the evening. So I'll ask everyone to come back on camera now. I think it's the 3 of us. I believe John Cabot had to head out a little early. So thanks for sticking around for the Q&A, and we'll get started with our first question for the evening. And that is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? So you can share your nuggets of wisdom with our attendees here today or watching the recording. So we'll go in the same order, starting with Macalester.
Yeah, I would say have a broad list. You don't know what you don't know, and therefore you don't know everything. And so make sure you have a healthy, diverse set of colleges that you explore. If you know a lot about large universities, I was just in Arizona and I talked to a lot of D1 athletic prospects who want to go on a full ride athletics scholarship. 1 in like 100 of us get to do that. And I made that setup because it's even more rare. And so you need to have a diverse set of options you're looking at that aren't large 10,000 plus enrollment D1 institutions. You need to have mid-size institutions, and you need to have small institutions on your list. And so a healthy list has, in my opinion, 4 of each. And so that is my advice I would give you, is do a tour of a big school, a medium school, and a small school. I didn't know what a liberal arts college was until I showed up on a liberal arts college campus, and then I wound up going to a liberal arts college. And so I just emphasize again, you don't know what you don't know, and that's okay. That is a-okay.
And then I guess piggybacking off that point, I would say visit if possible. You don't know if it fits until you go and visit. And I guess the one thing that came out of COVID is that a lot of schools, I'm sure all schools here have come up with some sort of a virtual visit option. And so, do as many of those as you possibly can just to see as much of it to make sure, that is your fit.
Great. I can go next. Well, actually, I'm the last one. Sorry. So much wisdom has already been dished out. What can I add to it? Well, I would say that this whole college process is difficult. It's stressful. Kind of feels like there's so much resting on your shoulders. Big decision, going to decide my future. I think it's safe to say we've all gone through that and we understand. So when things do get heavy, make sure that you reach out and ask for help. So definitely counting on like being able to like feel comfortable in managing that, and understanding that you will go to a college if you want to. There's plenty of options out there. So then that list comes in handy and really applying to a good range of schools. But also I would say reach out to counselors, right? People at these universities. Don't be afraid. We are great individuals, and we're more than happy to correspond with you to provide any assistance and encouragement, because we know that this can be a very daunting process. So be bold and send an email, and you'll be surprised at the responses that you'll find.
That is all great advice. And I always like to add too, is to stay organized. There's so many different dates and deadlines. You already heard from 4 different schools tonight with different dates and deadlines, both scholarship, admissions deadlines. There's so much going on. And so you want to keep track of that, however that works for you, if that's like a spreadsheet on your phone or something like that. But also to stay organized is to have like a dedicated professional sounding email that you're using when you're applying to all of these schools. And one that's not going to have all of your other like spam emails coming in, stuff from other, stores, things like that. So that way you're not missing an important email from a college when it comes in. So those are 2 tips that I like to keep organized in this whole process, because especially if you're applying to all those different types of schools, organize it. Say I'm applying to this school, it's a large institution. This school, it's a medium size, and kind of all their dates and deadlines, so you can really put your best foot forward and not miss something important along the way, and remember all of those notes too. All right, so our next question for the evening, it is, what's one thing you want students to remember about your school? So you get another little chance to, what's kind of your parting one thing you want students to take away to remember? So we'll go in that same order.
We're in Minnesota, and Minnesota is sometimes warmer than Arizona. And so I think that's the big thing I want you to take away.
And then I guess going off of that, our location is primarily right in the heart of downtown Boston. So, not only do you have opportunity for great internships, just because a lot of businesses do business within Boston, but you get a great education and a great social experience, which is the other half of college. And then since Jace likes ragging on Arizona, I grew up in Arizona, and so we get 4 seasons up here in Boston. The leaves are changing right now. It's really, really cool. So weather is a thing. So our location is everything.
So I would like to emphasize once again our mission statement, because I truly feel that all students, staff, and faculty are bound by it. It's to foster a steady stream of global citizens who are committed to living a contributive life. And so this is really to say that there's a community here of like-minded individuals who really are thinking deeply about their education and how that's going to impact their local communities and how that ripple effects out into the global sphere. So I think that's something that I would like to have stay with you.
Thank you so much. I love these fairs because I just love getting to know more about all the institutions, and I wish I could just go visit all of them. They all sound amazing and have such like great things to offer. And I think to all of your points too, when you're giving advice to like go visit and like go see different types of schools, there's so many cool schools out there. So that's why I love these events, because you get to know so much about these different institutions. So fantastic. Thank you. We have our last question for the evening, and that is, what is one myth you'd like to debunk on the college admissions process? All right.
I love a good bookend. And so I'll start where I began. Have a diverse set of options because private schools are not always more expensive and public schools are always not the least expensive options. You need to have a diverse set of options as you explore your colleges, as well as chart out an intelligent and smart college overall plan. Um, Ideally, you'd have half publics, half privates. Um, Seek guidance from your counselors. They know what they're talking about. They are there to help you. And so I just really want to double down on you don't know what you don't know. And so therefore explore a diverse set of options. Be open to hearing from institutions that you don't know much about, and get those financial aid packages in hand.
And then I would say for me, the letter of recommendation. The letter of recommendation is so important. And a lot of times students feel like they have to get this like senator that, someone's neighbor's uncle is. And, it can shine through that they don't know, that they don't really know you. So just pick a person that knows you well and can write a strong letter of recommendation, because it shows.
So the myth that I would debunk would probably be that GPA is everything. Right? That's the most heavily weighted item on the checklist. When in fact, I think there's so much more involved. I mean, I think I saw in some of the presentations like holistic admissions processes. SUA, Soka is just like that. But I would say that schools really want to see that you would be academically ready, that you would be able to thrive. But there are many other ways in the application checklist that you can demonstrate that, through the quality of your writing, through extracurriculars that you're taking, and I think overall a very solid application. So it's not to kind of feel dismayed that that your GPA is just slightly under the average, and that it's not even worth applying. And nothing ventured, nothing gained. So really put that out there and then consider the application in its totality, recognizing that different institutions, yes, might put a little bit more weight on one item like that. But in other cases, like for example, SUA, Soka, we really look at your essays actually. So GPA is important, but it actually kind of takes a back seat in a lot of ways when it comes to like how we approach the application.
That is all great kind of myths that you're debunking. And I think it all comes down to that you as a student, you're a whole person. You have many different interests. So your letter of rec might be from someone in your community or an instructor that knows you really well. You might find a fit at a small liberal arts school or a very large research school, and you have all of those opportunities, and you can show that on your application as well. So I think kind of to sum up, you're all talking about that everyone is like, all these students, they're whole people. You're not just like a number on a page. There's so much more to show all of the institutions that you're applying for. And so just take that as you go on and know that like you're more than the school that you apply to. You're more than a number on, your transcript. You're a whole person. You have value just as a person. And so remember that as you go through the process, no matter what your if you get accepted someplace or denied another place, it doesn't have any bearing on your value. You'll find that home that's right for you. And so I know this is a stressful process, but also let it be a fun process too, because you have so much to give these institutions as well. So show your personality and have fun with this as well. Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for joining us today. And thank you for watching the recording as well later on. So when you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 5-question survey. So we'd really appreciate any feedback that you can provide. You'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other session recordings at strivescan.com/Greater Arizona. So you can check out more of these wonderful institutions at strivescan.com/Greater Arizona and watch those recordings. All right, thank you so much for being with us tonight, and best of luck on your college search process.